Hi, I'm Tony Grayson from Summit Sphere.
On the 3rd of December 2024, we were graced with the release of ANTONBLAST, quite possibly the best 2D platformer, best video game ever made. There is so much I can compliment about this game and its design, its flawless controls, professionally designed levels, and ingenious gimmicks, and above all else, its charming characters. I have no regrets with this game. What's not to love with ANTONBLAST? It's a fast-paced 2D platform inspired by Crash Bandicoot, Wario, and not that one, are you a dumbass? Anton has this huge moveset, but don't worry, you won't be overwhelmed because the game asks you to slide about as much as Sonic Forces, my favourite Sonic game. You're mainly going to be focusing on your dash and your hammer vault, a move where if you hit the floor while using this, you bounce right up and get a much higher jump than normal. And I think the developers must have taken the page out of one of the best platformers of the last decade, Balan Wonderworld, and wanted a more simplified design for your best moves. So of course both of these moves are on the same button. This is pure genius. This allows the player to more easily use the stuff they want to use. You use the dash on the floor to speed up, and you use the hammer mid-air to jump higher, and this game has such good design that they wanted to make sure you never accidentally dash mid-air, because that would break the game. We don't want that. So they cleverly made it so if you're even 1 pixel above the ground, the dash will actually trigger the hammer vault to make these jumps easier. They have no regrets about this game, and why would they? Now, don't worry, if you don't want to play as Anton, you have other options. You can play as Annie. Now, who's Annie? 2 whole playable characters. Wow, that must have taken a lot of work and effort to make the level work around both of these uniquely controlling characters. Wait, they're identical and they're just reskins? Never mind, I forgot you can't improve on something you have no regrets about, so Annie plays the exact same as Anton. This makes sense though, because as we know, no good fast-paced 2D platformer has multiple characters running through the same levels at any point because that's just too difficult to make work! And all of these amazing levels have tons of secrets in them. If you thought the design couldn't be any more genius, just look at how you get this one collectible in one of the game's best levels, Cinnamon Springs. Wow, isn't that amazing? This is such a well-hidden secret and uses such an obscure move that barely anyone would even consider. Secret design will forever be changed in video games thanks to this revolutionary technique. Another ingenious design comes from this level, the Big Bath, a fan favourite ANTONBLAST level, because it's like the pool rooms as a video game level. They really have captured the essence of the pool rooms by also having nothing here. What attention to detail! And you know what one of the biggest things about games like this is? Having replayable levels. And there's nothing I would rather do than run through this pool room style level over and over again. It doesn't need different paths or tight level design that's difficult to master because it's just so genius. You can even go to a shop and buy various items using the chips you've collected throughout the levels. These items include more collectibles, a one-time use extra hit point, permanent health upgrades, and this dog that is, well, truly genius. See, it says free here. When you buy it, it doesn't work. This is a clever metaphor for how nothing good in life is free. This game is up there with Citizen Kane and Paddington 2. This game also has impeccable theming, as since the main villain is Satan himself, obviously they made a lot of the game themed around sins of religion, much like the Binding of Isaac, with such clever integration as all the bosses representing the 7 deadly sins. Bet you haven't seen that one before. ANTONBLAST was the first to do it, and I bet you know just what all of them represent just by looking at them, don't you? This giant jewel head guy who's cool, he's wealthy, giving an old-timey big cigar which is obviously a lot more expensive than a modern day cigarette. I don't need to tell you that he represents lust, now do I? On the topic of bosses, one excellent batch of fights. We have the first boss where you have to cleverly figure out you have to slingshot yourself from the ropes of the arena to hurt him. They went out of their way to make solely for this boss fight. What great developers. If you didn't figure this out, or this boss against this giant dragon. He's rainbow colored and flies all around, so you know he represents greed and his fight is anything but a sin because it's so freaking epic. You have to be a true gamer to get this right, and it's so chaotic and awesome. Then you have this cool phase and this other cool phase, and then you fly him into freaking Brazil! Me and all my friends who are watching me play this lamoued all over the place. My Reddit gold goes to you, Sir Tony Grayson. There's also this super mega—
Hey, what are you doing in here? I said don't come in here when we're recording. I'm wearing my Simpsons shirt.
A cool level called Pinball Maya. Sure, it starts off with this kinda lame platforming section with not really any cool movement options. I'm sorry, Tony, okay? We can't all be perfect. Luckily, most of the level takes place in this pinball! I love Pinball! This pinball controls very good and is very fun. It even has a hashtag #SoRetro reference. Nothing but peak gameplay in this level. I think this design is very good and I can see how Tony Grayson had no regrets with this. I'm struggling to keep up because there's just so much awesome to talk about with this game. Like the time trials, inspired by Crash Bandicoot, including time crates and everything. Unlike Crash though, these crates don't replace existing ones because this game doesn't have crates littered everywhere normally. It has its own identity. It's not like other game. ANTONBLAST opts to add in new crates in new locations in this mode. This further increases the great replayability, as now you're going to be tackling this level in a completely new route, taking some of the same secrets and then some not. Which are which? Find out! This adds to the replayability. They had no regrets about this game, and I wholeheartedly agree. Jesus, there's so fucking much left of this. This was meant to be a quick joke video, fuck off. There's also this level, the Deviled Gardens, where there's this big talking moon guy. He's so cool. You can't skip his dialogue even in a time trial, but why would you want to? He's just so cool that sure, I'll listen to him a 27th time. Don't worry, the time requirement acknowledges this and compensates for it. Genius. Unfortunately though, this was patched out later because some irrational people criticized the faultless Tony Grayson. Oh, I almost forgot. We have to talk about the combo chains. These are very fun and well designed. You have to get through a whole level without messing up a combo. Genius! I wonder where they got this idea from. But don't worry, if you do mess up your combo, you can make 2 whole mistakes before the next one kills you. How generous! Sure, they removed the health crates in this mode entirely, but that's simply so you don't cheese it. Enemies also still damage you, of course. That would be silly if you cut out enemy damage to let the player just focus on the combo. That would be boring. The mode is definitely mostly about keeping your combo, and not just trying to beat the whole level without taking damage 3 times. Nope, not at all. Funny thing about this mode, the developers built it around your dash, putting your combo meter back to max, but also add these little chains around that you can pick up to keep your combo going too. However, when they were doing this, they'd forgotten about the boost recessing your combo meter, but it still works perfectly with both ideas intact. Just goes to show how genius the whole team at ANTONBLAST is, and I can understand how they always have no regrets with genius game design talent like this. But when talking about ANTONBLAST, the game of the year, how could we not talk about the level of the year? This is Mad Mall. A level that made me throw out all my other games in the bin and delete the files of any others I had downloaded. Because why would I need another game when I have this? This level was designed entirely by Tony Grayson, a true visionary. That's right, Gendy Tartakovsky, get the fuck out of here with your lame ass Samurai Jack shit. This is the real peak of media right here. This is a level that takes place in a giant abandoned rundown mall, featuring such ingenious design as this room, the security cameras that work properly, I assure you. This room with these enemies that are one of the instances where you have to use the slide that I mentioned earlier. This room where you do that iconic shopping mall activity. Shooting cardboard cutouts. They even gave you a fun upgrade to your gun where it has piercing bullets. That's so cool. No regrets. And maybe the best room. The blue room, where, well, I can't put level design this good into words. Oh, and who could forget this ballroom part after the green room? I go to this place in my mall every day and I clap my hands and I jump up and down and I giggle and spit. I'm not leaving that in. Oh, and I forgot this ballroom part. We've all been to one of these ball pits in the mall before. That's the best part. I go there every day, personally. It's my favourite. I play ANTONBLAST on my Switch while I'm there. This level has good theming, good music, good design. Tony Grayson designed this level and had no regrets, and who could blame him? I know I shouldn't talk about other games in this review of the best thing ever, because it just wouldn't be fair on them. But there's this stupid game called Freedom Plain Tets, I think it says, that has a shopping mall level too. But it is far inferior to the great Anton's version. There's all this stupid decoration that just distracts you from the level, this really dumb music that pisses me off. There aren't even different rooms I can run into with very mall-esque themes. There are all these lame details like being able to enter these bathroom doors. This doesn't serve any purpose and was a waste of development time. It's not even funny. Unlike ANTONBLAST's very funny screen button. Speaking of, Tony Grayson had this cool idea where you hold down the screen button for 20 minutes to get an achievement. I got this easily though, because I just found it so funny that I had the achievement before level 1 was even over. I was too busy lamowing everywhere. Oh, and those collectibles I mentioned earlier. There are these various spray paints you can get to change your appearance, and the game actually says there are 91 in the list, but you can only get 90. This is a clever hint towards smart and loyal fans who have got them all, and it tells them that ANTONBLAST is getting more content in the future. Oh boy, I can't wait for more of these collectibles. We have Gothic, Pippotastic, and look! Free mint!
Hi. ANTONBLAST.